How we select the sites is determined by the potential for inadvertent pollution, I guess. So McGinnis Creek area, as an example, it is an outflow of the Rainy River, so it comes into the Lake of the Woods. It's a perfect example there, because then we could monitor to see if there's any pesticide runoff from the farms that are coming into the water.
You want to think about what you're most interested in sampling. What are you most concerned about in your lakes or rivers? What's the best way to sample that? When would you go out anyway? And is there data you can collect, whether it's a water sample or a fish sample?
The sampling sites we have in Big Island, off the top of my head, I could think of at least 13. We chose those 13 sites simply because a lot of them are along our land parcels of land in our area. Some of them are in high traffic zones, such as the Government Dock. I chose the Government Dock because it's a potential for invasive species. We try to collect our samples every 2 to 3 weeks. We determine this frequency in conjunction with Grand Council and their environmental monitors, as well as our own environmental monitors.
Collecting data on a consistent basis is incredibly important to any monitoring program because, as we were talking about earlier, water chemistry does fluctuate on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. And so getting out there on the land, on the water, collecting it consistently allows you to keep track of that change throughout the season over time, and it helps create a more holistic picture of what you're looking at.
Based on what your concern is there some seasonality that you need to build in? So is it more important to collect in the summer or the fall or the winter, or can you just take one sample a year and that's good?
If you're out there collecting data consistently, you can start to see changes in water chemistry throughout the seasons and over the years. And with all that data, you can refer back to it, 5-10 years from now and see what, water chemistry in years past used to look like.
So we look for the DO percentage, the SPC, obviously, the hardness pH levels of each test site that we do. Dissolved oxygen content is another thing that we test for.
The basic things that we monitor for the CBM program are water temperature, pH, conductivity, dissolved oxygen, and clarity. We also collect water samples for heavy metals like arsenic and mercury, nutrients. We also collect fish habitat data and fish tissue samples for mercury testing.
Here at the Experimental Lakes area, we try and understand the whole ecosystem. So we're looking at water chemistry, fish population, invertebrate populations, and we're combining all of that information together. With community-based monitoring, it's also important to consider the ecosystem as a whole. Although you may only decide that water chemistry is enough for what you're most interested in. We want to work together with communities in Treaty 3 to understand this region better. The more we can collaborate with communities who are collecting their own data about lakes around their communities, the more we can get a better understanding of Treaty 3 as a whole.